have the distinct honor of introducing a very good friend, Stacy Holmes. I won't even try to summarize his bio. I won't read it to you. I encourage you to read it at some point, but I also encourage you to devote your full attention to his presentation. On the cover of the program, there's a sentence that actually summarizes and states Stacy's life very well for him. I have decided to stick with love. Hate is too great a burden to bear. This Emmy Award winner, this warm, gentle, but very positive person, is a dynamic presenter, and you should look forward. And I will sit down in a second to give you that opportunity. I have shared some projects in the community with Stacy. Anyone who comes forward to grab a mic, you have some butterflies and anxiety, and sometimes your mind goes blank. There has never been a project, and in this regard, as an offset, Kenny also serves that purpose for me sometimes when my mind goes blank and he's taking pictures of me, but Stacy always has a way of bringing me back to focus and back on point. He knows no stranger. As a matter of fact, if you ever see Stacy looking down or look like he's looking down on somebody, he really truly is doing that to help pick them up. He's positive. I have seen and witnessed him as a very positive person, even in the face of personal tragedy or anyone else's tragedies. We all have in our cars and our phones a GPS. One of the first things the GPS asks when you say, how do I get there, is where are you now? If you go to Stacy, or if he faces a tragedy or a situation or disappointment, or if you go to him to discuss one, and you say something along the lines of, where do I go from here? His first point is, where is your here? What is the situation? But he's always thinking of going forward. And he will have you focus on your here to help you determine where you should be. I present to you now my dear friend, Stacy Holmes.
Wow. Thank you very much, and I'll see if I can go find that man you just talked about. Come on and speak to you guys. Wow, thank you, Rev. I really want to thank you for that wonderful introduction. This is such an honor to me to have this opportunity to come and speak to you guys, especially on such a wonderful occasion. We're talking about Martin Luther King Jr. We're talking about an icon, somebody that has changed the world. I mean, you got to think about that. You know, it's not a small thing. Sometimes we take stuff for granted because we grow up with it. You know, you hear about it all the time. Even the fact that you live right here, right next to the nation's capital, we take that for granted. We don't think anything big about it. But people come from all over the world to come to Washington, D.C. We're talking about Martin Luther King Jr. This is a man who dedicated his life to changing things. So I am so honored to be here today. And, you know, we all know of his iconic speech, I have a dream, right? I have a dream today, right? I mean, I've always wanted to say that in front of folks, you know? And we know these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. And that's a great thing. That is a wonderful thing. But you know what? I believe that this is Martin's dream right here. This is what he's talking about. He's talking about people of different races, different creeds, different ethnicities, different worldviews to come together and do something and appreciate each other for who they are. I just had a conversation with somebody the other day, and they were talking about folks who say, well, I don't see color. It's like, come on, let's get real. You do see color. The question is, do you appreciate the difference in color? Because there's nothing wrong. God made us all different. He made us all unique. He made us all with values and all with different things that you can do that I can't do, that she can do, that he can do. And all of us, we need to be able to appreciate that. And if we do, that's what makes the bigger whole so great, man. I mean, we can't say, oh, I don't see it. No, you do. There is. There's a reason for that. But the question is, do you appreciate it? Can you respect it, even if you don't agree with it? Can you respect it? And I think that's what Martin was all about, Martin Luther King. So, I'm just, like I said, so glad to be here. We got all different folks, and this is the vision of different folks. I know that we probably got some vegetarians in here. You know, I'm sure we got some pescatarians in here, and I know we got some folks that are like me that are meatitarians. You know, I'm not joking. I don't care. You know, I can sure use a salad every now and then, but give me a rack of baby back ribs. Woo, I'm telling you, I'm good. Leave me alone. Don't bother me. I got work to do here. But you know what? But that's what makes everything beautiful. And so we're talking about King's vision. Humanity tied a single garment of destiny. A garment is something that covers something. When you go outside and it's cold, a garment is to keep you warm. A garment is something that people use when you get in front of a fire with somebody that you care about. You get under a blanket. That's a garment. You're coming together. We are a single garment of destiny, which means that we all need each other, which means that we all have a vital role in this world. We all have a vital role. You have an important, crucial role. You have a role in your family. You have a role in your community. You have a role right here at this agency. Right here at the Social Security Administration. This is one of the most, well, I went to your website. I read it. And I know that you guys, you're with us through our lives for over 60 million people. I know that when I was telling my daughter on the way over here, you know, this is my daughter. She's on the camera, by the way. That's my baby girl. And, you know, she's growing up to be a television star one day. And I told her she's got to buy me an Escalade. One of my kids got to buy me an Escalade. so keep it up, you know, get a raise in. But, you guys are do such an important and vital thing here at this agency, and I hope you don't take it lightly. I don't care what your rank is. I don't care if you're a G1. I don't care if you're a G9. I don't care if you're a G. Oh my God, it doesn't matter. You're crucial to what this agency does. This agency cannot do anything without everybody doing their part. And I think that's what Dr. King was talking about when he said a single garment of destiny. We're all tied together. Humanity is tied together. No man is an island. I think I heard that. Somebody wrote that, right? They say no man is an island. No woman is an island. You can't do this thing on your own. We need each other. So we work with our co-workers. So take a look around right now. Look at the different folks sitting next to you and give yourselves a round of applause because this is King's vision right here in this room. Now, my name, like Mr. Ralph said, my name is Stacy T. Holmes. Yes, and I am a meatitarian named Stacy. So you can tell somebody, I met a meatitarian named Stacy today. And I always ask my mama, why do you call me Stacy? Well, I think you named me Frank or something. You know, your name is Stacy. But she just always liked the name. But I know you guys probably don't know me from Adam, right? You know that my daughter's the only one that knows me than Mr. Ralph. Y'all the only ones that know who I am. So you don't know me from anybody. But that's okay. You know, I'm good with that. Because you know what? I'm proud to be here. I'm proud to do what I've done in my life. And I'm proud to have this opportunity to come here and talk about the wonderful Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Sometimes, you know, we may forget how crucial our role is. And you know, it's easy to say, oh, everybody's important, but you know, the truth of the matter is we don't always feel like that. I mean, sometimes we come to work and you feel like don't nobody appreciate what you do. You know, you go home from work, don't nobody appreciate what you do. I know, you know, mothers are like children don't appreciate what you do. Children are like, mom and daddy don't appreciate what I do. All of us, we go through those situations. And you know, we're talking about Martin Luther King, who was such a great person, but did you realize that Martin Luther King actually tried to commit suicide when he was a child? Did you know that Martin Luther King suffered from severe depression as a child? We always know him as this great person, but Martin Luther King, he had issues that he had to get through. But he realized who he was at a young age, and he accepted his call. Martin Luther King graduated from high school and went to Morehouse College at the age of 15. Did you know that? He graduated with a degree from Morehouse College at 19. Martin Luther King Jr. got his PhD at the age of 26. I mean, that's amazing when you think about it. And he became co-pastor of Ebenezer Church with his father at the age of 31. 31 years old, and you're a co-pastor. So I'm sure, you know, he had some folks saying, son, who you trying to tell what to do? You know, and he probably said, well, I'm telling you this is what I want you to do. So, you know, but I have a dream that you're going to listen to me, even though I'm 31. But that's amazing when you think about that, because, you know, we don't think about those things about being that young. But Martin Luther King recognized at a young age that he had a blueprint for his life, that he had a destiny that he was meant to do. And he accepted that call. Now, I believe that everybody has a destiny. Everybody has a gift. I'm a believer. And I know that God has gifted everybody with something. He's given everybody something that's unique to you. He's given everybody a gift to share with the world that's going to bless somebody else. Now, the problem is, some of us never realize what that is. There's a lot of reasons for that. You know, I mean, there's a lot of reasons for that. I mean, some of them are legitimate. You know, some of them are just outright excuses. You know, some people don't ever achieve their dreams just because they're lazy. I mean, some people just don't want to work. Some people don't want to go through the issues. Some people don't want to go through the trouble. Some people like let's not do it. But there are people who have every intention and every ability, but they've never had the opportunity. You know, I heard that a lot of people talk about, you know, when they, you know, they'll pray for favor and all that kind of stuff like that. But I think one of the prayers, I think I heard TD say this, one of the prayers is for position. Put me in the right position. That's what I want. Put me in the right position. I can be the best piano player in the world, but if you put me in front of a ukulele, I'm in trouble. So put me in the right position to do the things that I'm supposed to do. But that's something that you have to determine to do. So you have to have some type of plan when you go forward. You have to have what we're going to talk about as a blueprint. Now, we always know Martin Luther King Jr. from his iconic I Have a Dream speech. But the thing about it, the thing about it is that back in 1967, Martin Luther King Jr. gave a speech to a bunch of kids at Barrett Junior High School in Philadelphia. Okay? And this was in 1967. He was talking to junior high students. And this is 14 to 15-year-old kids. He was talking to junior high students at Barrett, and he had his speech was called, "What's the blueprint for your life?" What is the blueprint for your life? And he was talking to these kids. And keep in mind, this is in the heart. This is in the middle. This is in the very middle of the civil rights struggle. And in fact, he was in Philadelphia because there was a big rally at the Forum, they said, that evening. And so somebody hooked it up so he could come and talk to this high school, to these junior high kids in the afternoon before the event. Now, Martin Luther King Jr. talked to these 14 to 15-year-old kids, and he had a lot of good things to say to them. And side note, just think about this. Could you imagine this? Because the kids didn't know who was coming. They just knew that they had to come for an assembly. And they knew it was somebody important. And I think the boys had to go put on ties and everything, you know. So they knew it was somebody important, but they didn't know who it was. So they thought it was going to be one of the basketball stars or something like that. And I read an article from one of the kids that was reminiscent, and he was one of the kids it was his job to go meet the special guest. And he was standing outside at the door opening the car, and he looks up, and it's Martin Luther King Jr. And he's like, okay, you know, so they talk about that. But he came in, and he told these kids, he told them a bunch of things. But the first thing he told them was that the most important thing is to know who you are, is to understand who you are. And I think this is one of the values of being Martin Luther King Jr. You can make up your own words, because he made up the word somebodyness. Okay? He said, don't ever let anybody deny you of your somebodyness. You are somebody. We are somebody. I am somebody. You know, and I don't care what you say. I am somebody. But you have to make that determination. You can't base it on what somebody else says. You can't base it on what your supervisor says. You can't base it on the raise you get or the accolades you get. You have to know that I am somebody. And once you know that, then you can't let anybody take away your somebody-ness. I like that word. Everybody say it with me, somebody-ness. It's like, really? Okay, I get it. I mean, it makes sense. But that was very important. And Martin Luther King said, don't let anybody take away your worth. You must have a deep belief in your own dignity, your own worth, your own somebody-ness. Regardless of your job or responsibility or what you're doing or what your grade is or what your relationship is, or if you're single, if you're married, if you're divorced, if you're a Christian, if you're a Muslim, if you're this, it doesn't matter. Know who you are. And if you know who you are, what you got against anybody else? I think half the problems in this world today are because we worried about somebody else. Stop worrying about somebody else. You know, do you do you, I do me, and together we can make this thing roll, man. We can have some fun. You know, I used to think about it as a kid, and I didn't even realize what I was thinking at the time, but I used to look at those little Rockwell paintings all the time, you know, with the little kid playing in the front yard, jumping rope and swings and dog and all that. And I used to think, man, wouldn't it be nice if everybody could just live life like that? And not have to worry about somebody else's attitude, not have to worry about somebody else's issues. You know, that's one thing that I'm so glad, I'm so grateful. My daddy was a country boy from Wynn, Arkansas. You know, he grew up in Wynn, Arkansas, 6th grade education, you know, worked 2 jobs. He wasn't one of them educated men, but he had what I call horse sense, right? And he used to always say, don't let somebody else's problem become your problem. You know, don't let somebody else's issues become your issues. Why are you going to let that person ruin your day? You're giving them that much authority over your life. You're giving that person that you don't even know the ability to ruin your whole day. Are you kidding me? That's ridiculous. But that's the thing about it, is that sometimes, but that's when we don't know who we are. Because if you know who you are, and somebody says something to you that's off, you're just like, really? Okay, sorry you feel like that. Exactly, just like that, you know, let it go. Woo, you know, I mean, but you got to know who you are. But that ain't easy to do sometimes, you know, and just always think about that. I mean, but somebody that's, it cracks me up when I think about Martin Luther King saying that. Somebody this, you know, he can say anything with that voice. Martin Luther King could probably walk up and he say, dippity doo dah, dippity head. My oh my. What a wonderful day. It'd be like, there's a lady at our church, Miss Davis. She's one of my seniors in our church, and she's pushing. I think she's maybe 90 years old or so. But she worked for the NAACP in New York back during the Civil Rights. And I asked her, I said, well, did you ever hear Martin Luther King speak in person? And she goes, yeah, I heard him speak one time. He came to New York, and she said, I'm glad I didn't get paid because I would have gave that man all my money. She said he was just phenomenal. But the thing about it is knowing who you are, and then the second thing that he told them is that you must always strive for excellence in everything you do. Always strive. Don't strive to be the best so-and-so at this. Oh, he's good for a black doctor. Oh, she's good for a female, police officer. No, just strive to be the best. Don't worry about them titles on. Strive to be the best. If you strive to be the best, then you can be the best. But don't worry about, I just won't do enough. I don't do it. And I know, I work for the D.C. government right now, and I've been working with them for a little while. But and I was new to government when I came in. But the saying that a lot of people say was sometimes the attitude this way, say close enough for government. Close enough for, when I'm in the television business, they'll say close enough for cable. So it's kind of like sometimes you just do enough to get by and you really don't care about it. But Martin said, no, you got to take pride in everything you do, no matter what it is. No matter what your job is, no matter how big your job is, no matter how small your job is. See, and that applies directly to what I do, because I'm a video editor. That's my specialty. That's what I do. And when you're a video editor, we have a saying that we call, you got to remember the old Dunkin' Donuts commercial where you used to say, time to make the donuts, where they talked about they make donuts 24 hours a day. And the man will wake up in the middle of the night. He say, time to make the donuts. So we have a saying around the office. You say, it's time to make the donuts because you always got something to do. There's always a job. As soon as you finish this job, there's another job. When you got this folder off your desk, there's 2 more folders on your desk. The next thing you do, there's another thing right behind it. So there's always something to do. But the question is, how you going to do it? Because everything ain't going to be a great job. I work with people that say, oh, well, I don't really apply myself when I get that special job. You know, I'm really good. Dude, you ain't gonna get that special job. This is the special job. This is the job that you got. Every job that you have has to be that job that you put everything into it, your whole heart and soul. You put every ounce that you can into every job that you do. That's the only way you can survive this thing. What you can do. You know, how are you going to sit there and decide that, this is a project that I can really care about, but that other one, that's not important? No, it is important. And so that's something that's very crucial that Martin Luther King told these children that were 14 and 15 years old. He said, you should always strive for excellence. And it goes to that famous speech, that famous saying, I know we've all heard it, where it says, if you can't be the pine at the top of the mountain, be the shrub in the valley. If you can't be a river, be a stream. If you can't run, walk. You know, it doesn't matter what you do, just do it to the best of the ability. He said, if you're going to be a street sweeper in life, be the best street sweeper that you can be. You know, he said, be the Michelangelo street sweeper. So when people walk by your grave, they say, man, that was a bad street sweeper right there. That brother was bad. Did you ever see the way he swept the floor? That brother was bad. And so in our days, we say, like, you know what, be the LeBron James of your job. You know, be the Michael Jordan of the mailroom. You know, be the Serena Williams. You know, and, I mean, be the Tom Brady. You know, be the best that you can be at whatever you're doing. And as long as you do that, you're gonna be ahead of most of the people in this world. I heard somebody say a long time ago, if you get up in the morning with determination and an attitude that I'm going to do something today, you're ahead of 70% of the people in this world. Because most people get up and just walk through life and they let life happen. But if you get up and say, you know something, I'm going to do something good today, you might not do nothing. But you're going to do more than that person that has no ambition, that has no desire, that has no gumption about doing anything. You know, Zig Ziglar, who's a famous motivational speaker, is one of the fathers of motivational speaking, Zig Ziglar. He had something to say. He said, you know, he's positive thinker. He said, you know, it really bothers me when people go around and they always talk about you can do anything with positive thinking. You just even have positive thinking. You can do anything with positive thinking. He said, that bothers me because that's not true. And everybody's like, you're a positive thinker. He said, that's not true. You can't do anything with positive thinking. He said, I'm 5'7". I can never beat Wilt Chamberlain at basketball. I don't care how positive I think, I'm not going to be able to do that. He said, so you cannot do anything you want with positive thinking. He said, but you can do anything better with positive thinking than you can with negative thinking. And that's what we need to keep in mind. That anything that you want to do, you may not be the best at it. But if you apply yourself, if you really go for it, you're going to do better than if you just kind of mailed it in. And that's something we always need to think about because it's not always the end that's important. It's the process. It's going through the motions. It's going through the steps to accomplish what you're trying to accomplish. I tell my kids all the time, I got 4 children. And I'm very proud of them and I love them. But we always have conversations. You know, I got a 15-year-old in high school now. And then she just graduated from high school. And then I've got an older one and 2 older ones. I got one in college and another one that's graduated. And I used to always tell them, and I always try to make sure that I let them know, I'm not mad at you because you didn't get an A. What I want to make sure is that you just apply yourself and do the best that you can do. Now, if you come home with a D, and I know that you studied, and I know that you went to the tutor, and I know that you asked questions, and I know that you did everything that you could have done, but you got a D, I'm going to say, hallelujah, you just ain't never going to take biology again in your life. That's fine. But the point is, if you apply yourself, If you go for it, that's all that's important. And I think that's what Martin Luther was telling these kids. So me, in my business, you know, like I said, I work in television. And so my blueprint, which is important because, and I want you guys to start thinking about this because, you know, you're working here at the Social Security Administration. You've got other responsibilities. You've got family. You've got friends. And you've got stuff like that. And so we always want to advance. We always want to grow. We always want to get better. We always want to get stronger. But it don't just happen, y'all. It don't just magically happen. You don't just magically become gifted in knowing how to do something that you don't know. You have to be intentional about what you're trying to do in life, no matter what it is. John Maxwell, in his best book, The 15 Invaluable Laws of Personal Growth, he talks about the fact of the law of intentionality, where you have to say, no, I'm going to do this. And that means so the first step in accomplishing anything, the very first step in accomplishing any goal is to decide that you're going to go where that goal. That's a simple thing, but you have to decide that I'm going to go for that goal. And once you decide that you're going to go for that goal, it's amazing how the brain works because then you start doing things to make it happen. Then you start making moves to make it happen. Then you start noticing people that are doing it and you start recognizing what they're doing and you say, well, if he's doing that, then maybe I need to do that in order to get what he got. I got to do what he did. But if I just sit back and say, yeah, I want to be rich and I want to do this, then it's like, well, dude, but did you fill out the job application? Did you open the book? You know, I work in the television business and you know, it's all about what do you know. And one thing I learned when I was in college is an instructor told me, he said, you know, we can never teach you everything that you're going to need when you go out there in the real world because technology changes so quick. And by the time you get out of here, there are going to be 3 different generations advanced from what we have here. So we can never teach you what you can do. All we're going to do is be able to tell people, and all your degree tells people, is that you have the ability to learn, which means that you can adapt to any situation. When you go into a situation, you have to assess the situation, you have to look at what they got, and you have to figure out what it is that what they're doing. And so when I work in the business, I've been in it for about 35 years, so a lot of times we'll have young people come in, interns come in and stuff like that, and you got the ones that will say, can you show me how to do that? How do you do that? I don't know how to do this, and I don't know how to do that. We got a saying sometimes we'll say, yeah, you know, it's RFM, you know, and it's like, what does that mean? It means read the freaking manual. You know, that's how you do that. You know, you want to know how to do that? Yeah, I'll tell you how to do it. Get that book over there, go sit in the corner, and come back in about 3 hours. And if you got a question, I'll share it with you. But I'm not going to sit there and hold your hand and teach you something. So you have to go forward. You have to step forward. So that blueprint is very, very, very important. And my blueprint was started. It was built from an early age. My grandfather back in Rochester, New York, back in the 40s and 50s, my grandfather was like he was the first black city official in Rochester, New York. He was a business owner back in the 1940s and 50s. They owned 3 businesses. They owned a nightclub. And if anybody's from Rochester, New York, you might have heard of the Fifth Eye Room, which is a jazz club in Rochester, New York. And rumor has it that Aretha Franklin and some of these other folks came through there on the Chitlin circuit way back in the 60s and that kind of stuff. But my grandfather, and they owned a nightclub and all that kind of stuff like that. So my grandfather, he was one of the, he laid the foundation. So my blueprint for life, for who I am today, was started with my grandfather, you know, with what he laid down, with the hard work that he did, the fight through that he had to do. Because you got to think about it, back in the 40s and 50s, you know, we talk about we got race relations now. I mean, back then it was like, yeah, right in your face. So for him to achieve the things that he did has been amazing. So I look back now and I see it. And as a matter of fact, one of the most amazing things, and we're celebrating Martin Luther King today, at my grandfather's funeral, me and my 2 brothers, we were in the funeral home at the repast, and people were coming from all over the place to pay respects. And Rochester's not a big city. It's not large, but you know, you have a black community like most cities do. And being the business people, they were like known, you know, for the family, for helping folks and stuff like that. But we were standing in the funeral home, and some man came up to us that we never knew in our life, we never seen him before. And he walked up to us, and he had his hat in his hand, and he just said, I know y'all don't know me. I know y'all don't know me from anybody. But I just want you to know, your granddaddy was like our Martin Luther King here in Rochester, New York. I just want you to know that. And that's one of the things that will always stick with me because my grandfather, he just did his thing. He He wasn't a boastful man. He never talked much. He was real quiet, but then you find out things about people. But he affected and he touched so many people. So his blueprint in life really touched all these other folks at the same time. And then also my father, my father was a sixth grade education, and he got his GED at the age of 62. Wow. Worked 2 jobs his whole life. Worked 8 hours driving the city bus, then turn around and work 8 hours driving an 18-wheeler every day of his life. That was part of my blueprint. When I got out of college, my first real job in television was for KLSR, which was a low-power television station, where I was hired by a rich gentleman by the name of Johnny Fields. He gave me a job in Lawrence, Kansas, to move to Eugene, Oregon, to help build a new TV station that he was building. He offered me the job right there. I had just met the man. He offered me the job, and I said, yeah, without even knowing where Oregon was. I said, I know. And then I had to go home and look where Oregon was on the map. I'm like, I heard of it before. But John Field, he poured into my blueprint. He helped put the walls on my blueprint. He helped put the roof on my blueprint because he taught me about hard work. He taught me about coming in early, staying late, doing everything that you can do. He did all of that, and that's what John Field did. So that was part of my blueprint. So the message that I'm trying to say today is that your blueprint is important, because if you set a destination, then you have the possibility to hit it. But if you don't set a destination, what you going for? So set a destination. Create your own blueprint for your own life. Look at what you're doing right now here for this agency. Recognize that you're helping people every day. You're helping 60 million people a day. You guys touch. You touch folks. This agency probably touches more people than any other government agency in the world. Because everybody gets a Social Security card. Everybody is touched by the Social Security Administration. So your job is crucial. Your job is important. But look at your blueprint. What is your blueprint? What do you want out of your life? What are you trying to do? How do you fit in the King's vision of being a thread in that garment? You gotta go for it. Ralph, can you do me a favor? Can you get that black bag right over there? The one underneath is right there next to the duffel bag. But the key is, once again, like I said, you gotta it's the gold box in that one next to it, right next to it, the bag next to it. Yeah, bring that up. See, now the key is you have to be intentional. You have to determine that you're going to do something, and you have to set your mind to it. You have to say, I'm going to do this. And I say it not because you can't do it just when you think it's worth it. You just got to do it every day. I've been in the television business for 35 years. I've been editing. I've done everything. I've done, production assistant. I volunteered, actually, my first job, because there wasn't no job. So I said, I'll work for free. I just want to get up in here. And that's how I got into the first TV station I worked for, just volunteering. And then that turned into a half part-time position, and it turned into a full-time position. And then I parlayed that into this, and to that, to that, to this. And so for you to tell me today that I'd be living in Northern Virginia, that I would have 4 children that are Virginians, I'd say you out of your mind. I'm from Rochester, New York. Upstate, as people tell me when, folk that are from New York City. But the thing about it is, my blueprint was built. It was built. So everything I do, when I work, when I edit, every project that I work on, I put my whole into it. I don't care what it is. And so I'll do a lot of work sometimes when I don't even get paid for it. I'll work late at night, and people go, well, you left that late? I said, yeah, because I wasn't happy with what was going on, and you can't do it to other people's specifications. And as a result of that, I am proud to say, man, that just last year, I was blessed with an Emmy Award. This is a regional Emmy Award from the ITPA, right? And this is when you see people, I don't want to thank my mom. This is an Emmy Award. Now it's a regional Emmy Award, and I got this working at the DC Office of Cable Television and Film, Music, and Entertainment, where I work now. And I got it as the editor, and it has my name on it. That's how I love it. It says Stacy T. Holmes, editor. This is for a television program that we edit. It's a weekly program that we do. This is for a television program that there's about 10 or 15 of us that work on the program. Michelle Wright is the host. It was for a show we did with Belle Biv DeVoe. And it's a great interview. It was a great project. The graphic design was created by Salah. It was the program, but it's something that we do every day. And the fact that we got an Emmy Award for this, I love it. Because if any of us did not do our job, we wouldn't have got this. You know, if anybody slacked up that day, we wouldn't have got this. You know, if I said, oh, I don't want to work on that one, I'm going to work on that one because that's going to be a big project, I wouldn't have got my name on this. So I think this is all a part of King's vision, the single garment, humanity tied, a single garment of praise, of destiny. This was built because of all the folks that worked together over at my office, because we all did our job, because we all did our part. And that's what you guys are doing here at the Social Security Administration. And so I commend all of you, all the folks here, all the folks telemarketing, all the folks that are on listening to us from wherever you are. I just want to congratulate you for the work that you do. I want to encourage you to keep doing it. I want to let you know that you are King's vision. That when he said, I have a dream, this is what he was talking about. He wasn't talking about some mystical, magical thing over there. Ooh. No, he was talking about this. He was talking about being able to work together even if we don't agree. He was talking about being humane and being human and loving and kind and worrying and concerned about other people. That's King's vision. That's humanity. And that's what this is all about. So once again, I'm so honored to be here today. This has been a pleasure for me. And I pray that all of y'all understand that a garment is a good thing, and y'all are part of that garment. So God bless you, and have a wonderful rest of the day.
No matter what's going on in your life, the moment you realize that God has given you another chance, that's what I call 1201. It's the beginning of a new day with new opportunities, new challenges, and new victories. Everything else is yesterday. It's 1201, baby. Let's go. We got work to do.